It seems we have a part of ourselves that doesn't like himself. Most of the time, that's what is called the ego. And basically what it means, it's a part of ourselves, a story of ourselves made up of, beliefs, of values, of things we have done, things we haven't done, and things we should have done or shouldn't have done, things like that. And all that creates a story that is totally subjective. And there is a part of those stories that we don't like, we hate. Basically, we truly hate. And there is always a part like that of ourselves that we are ashamed of, or things like that. And this part is really the thing that prevents us from living fully our life and at our full potential. Because of that, we are ashamed of certain part of ourselves, and we limit ourselves. There's one thing which is extremely important, is to realize that we can have stories we hate, but we can also have stories we love ourselves. And all that are just stories, and behind that, the person we are is still the same. Whether you have, extremely good story or extremely bad stories, the person is the same. What is important is to realize that we are not our stories, but most of the time we really identify with the story of ourselves. And that is the limit, the problem, which is totally untrue, which is totally unrealistic. We are not a story of ourselves. And the proof is that even if we, judge ourselves, evaluate ourselves according to an image of ourselves we have, a story of ourselves, this story, this image can change. It could have been another story. It can change, in the future. It can still be something else. So we are not this story, or we are someone different each time the story changes, but we are still the same person. That is the reality. So when we have that in mind, when we step back and look at that, we can stop identifying with this story and realize we are still the same person, and we can create great stories and it's still the same person. So even if we think our life is really we're ashamed of our life, or of who we are, or things like that, we don't like ourselves, our life, or certain parts of our life, of ourselves, we know that all that can change, but it is already us that is going to live a great story. Maybe it's already us, it's the same person. So we don't have to change who we are, just the story of ourselves, which is completely different. When we change the story, we realize we are already the person we want to be. It's not a matter of who we are, it's a matter of the story we have of ourselves. And when we step back, we realize that not only can we be not ashamed anymore of ourselves, because it's not of ourselves, maybe we can be ashamed of our story. But we know it's just a story, an experience, something we have, maybe a behavior at certain moment, but it's just a behavior, it's not ourselves. It's something that can change. It's an experience. We can change the experience, and we are already, we are still the same person, and we can live great stories in the same circumstances that maybe makes us feel ashamed sometimes. We know they can change the story, and it's still the same person who is going to live things that we are going to be very proud of. So that changes everything. We can really not identify anymore with the story and realize we are different than our story. We are someone which can live everything, and the stories are something else. Now it's much more much easier to handle that. We can be much more objective and say, okay, I'm not that. I'm already the person. Just realize you're the person who can live great things. And you are already this person. You don't have to change who you are. You are this person. The story change, you'd still be the same person. Isn't it true? So you don't have to change yourself, just your experience. And that really enables you to look at everything, not be ashamed, because the problem is that when we're ashamed of something, we tend to overlook it. And if we overlook it, we let it continue the same way. and it's going to increase because we're going to be more and more ashamed, and so we're going to overlook it more and more, and we lose all the power on our experience. And when we know that's not us, we can, laugh at that and say, oh, it was just stupid. It's just, okay, I really have to change that, really, yeah. Because I am someone, and that is a story, that's an experience. And I'm not really ashamed of an experience. It's just an experience, okay? So a really important fact, just realize no matter what you experience, great or not great, it's still the same person. You are this person who experiences all that. So no need to be ashamed of that at all. Quite the opposite. You can live great things and you're already this person. That is the critical message that is going to change everything after that. Okay? I'll talk to you very soon. Have a great life.